It's convenient.
Well, good morning to you. We are continuing to monitor severe weather in the eastern and southeastern parts of the state. And right now we do have a tornado warning for parts of Ashley and Chico County. That is part of the Channel 7 viewing area. So we're going to take you down to far southeast Arkansas, and we'll give you a look at what we're watching. It's on Storm Scan. We're taking a look at storms moving into western Ashley County. And the tornado warning includes the northern half of Ashley County all the way to Lake Village and Dermott there in southeast Arkansas. The velocity product, kind of difficult to see where the rotation actually is, but the National Weather Service in Jackson, they have these two counties. Feel pretty confident that there is the possibility of a tornado near Crossit, moving towards the northeast, towards Hamburg and Highway 425, and that's going to continue moving off to the northeast. And this does include Lake Village, Dermott. The warning is moving fairly quickly. I'm going to take you over to Max 2 for a moment. We're going to try to put a storm track on this as it moves off to the northeast. John Robinson is here with me, and we're continuing to monitor power outages at this time of night. Sometimes it's difficult to find damage reports. John, how fast is this storm moving?
Northeast at 65 miles an hour.
65 miles per hour. So this is a fast-moving storm. We'll put a storm track on it. It's going to take it to the Mississippi River. There's Dermott, 3:35 a.m. So we got a little ways to go for those of you that are down the path of the warning there, like you are in Chico County. But the National Weather Service in Jackson does feel pretty good about there being a circulation right there in western Ashley County, and that's going to move quickly off to the northeast over the next 30 to 45 minutes. This is probably the fastest moving storm we've seen all night long. The problem is with velocity products tonight, it's been pretty difficult to discern where rotation is, but it does look like there's some rotation right there in western Ashley County, and it's going to continue to track right towards northern portions of Chico County. If you're in southern Drew County as well, there's no tornado warning in effect for southern Drew County, but I'd go ahead and take my tornado precautions. High winds definitely likely with this storm as well. If you take a look at the radar right now, high winds definitely possible, whether there's a weak tornado or not. Strong winds up to 60 miles per hour possible in this line as it moves towards northern Ashley, southern Drew County, and eventually southern Deshay County as well. The National Weather Service in Little Rock has this county right here, and Jackson has these two counties right here. That's why you see the dip in the tornado warning right there. John Robinson, retired National Weather Service meteorologist, is monitoring National Weather Service chat. And John, do they have any thoughts about adding Drew County to part of this warning right here?
They haven't indicated that at this time. One thing that I would mention, those storms that have been coming up out of Louisiana have had a history of producing damage here and there, all the way from Bossier Parish on across northern Louisiana. So I think this is one to take seriously, because these storms have produced damage earlier over the last couple of hours.
And it looks like from the Shreveport radar, we're able to get a little bit better view of it. You can see it right there, just north of Crossit. That's Highway 82 that runs across the southern part of the county, just right there in the western part. So there's a little bit of rotation right there. That's probably why that tornado warning is in effect. And to the south along the line, there are more tornado warnings into northern Louisiana. But the particular spot that we're watching there is in central Ashley County, and why we picked this up is it does include part of the Channel 7 viewing area with Chico County. Again, there's Highway 82 that runs right there into northern Chico County. It does not include Eudora. Southern Chico County not included in this. We'll continue to watch it. It is the northern part of the county, and this storm moving very fast, 60 miles per hour per the warning statement from the National Weather Service in Jackson. And if the circulation is just north of Crossit, moving quickly off to the northeast at, say, 60 miles per hour, it's going to put it in Dermott here in the next 30 minutes. So you do have a little bit of time, but you don't want to wait. You want to go ahead and get to your safe spot if you're in Hamburg, Montrose, anywhere in parts of Ashley or the northern half of Chico County. Now, for those of you In southern Chico County or even southeast Drew County, I would go ahead and take my safe place there, because whether it's the tornado warning, the weak tornado warning that you're watching, or it's the severe thunderstorm warning, the result probably going to be the same. The weak tornado can do the same amount of damage that straight line winds can do, and that's really what you're watching with the whole system that's moving off to the northeast. So for those of you along the Mississippi River in Chico County and back towards the west, northern Ashley County, going to your safe place, not going to be a long duration thing, because these storms now beginning to move fairly quickly. They're beginning to accelerate. And John, looks like we're getting several tornado warnings right along the line there in northern Louisiana and now far southeast Arkansas. Drew County not included in that. It's just Ashley and Chico County that we're watching. I want to show you the rest of the state, kind of what we're dealing with as we go down the line. This is from northeast Arkansas. Severe thunderstorms warnings continue all the way into Woodruff and Monroe counties down to Arkansas County. The severe threat now over for Stuttgart. Let me show you where the severe threat is no longer a big deal. It's going to be west of our line of storms, pretty much west of the El Dorado, Star City line, and back towards the north, the I-40 corridor. Little Rock, we're good. We're still dealing with the flash flooding threat. You may have been woken up by flash flooding. Little Rock does not have a severe threat at this time. Our severe threat is over. It is a flash flood threat. We are still monitoring the potential for flash flooding. The warning we're watching right now is in far southeast Arkansas. There's a tornado warning in effect for northern Chico and northern Ashley County. The velocity product, so much wind energy out there tonight, it can be kind of hard to discern what actually is a rotation. But at the last scan, it was just north of Crossett, approaching State Highway 425, and it's moving fairly quickly off to the northeast, and we were able to get a kind of a better look at it there from the Shreveport radar, maybe right there off to the northeast of Crossett, moving quickly towards, right along really Highway 82 towards the eastern part of the county. Whether this quickly spins up and spawns a weak tornado or not, there's a good chance that you see damaging winds as this moves into parts of the northern part of Ashley County there. Now, if you're along the Louisiana border or the southern part of Chico County, right now you are all good. But you do have several storms that are to the west in northern Louisiana and in western Ashley County that will pose a risk as you go through the next really hour, maybe hour or two. And really there's the area of rotation that we're looking at in the western part of Chico County. Not strong rotation, but this is in a part of the state that is so far removed from the radar, so it's kind of difficult to discern where the rotation is, but you can at least make it out right there north of Crossett as it moves off to the northeast. That's why this tornado warning is in effect. John, do you have a warning update for me? Do we have anything new in southeast Arkansas?
Still continuing to move toward the northeast at 65. It's located near Hamburg at this time. And one thing I would mention there, just south of the Louisiana border, where you see Farmerville down there in northern Louisiana, if that's a tornado warning as well, if that continues to track up, that may very well catch the southern parts of Ashley and Chico County here in the next hour or so that are not currently in that warning. So that's one thing we'll have to watch there as well.
Yeah, so Ashley and Chico counties especially, you're going to be on high alert the next couple of hours. And I'm guessing the alert I'm hearing was a continuation of the current tornado warning, not adding a new one to any parts of the state.
That's correct.
Yeah, so we're watching rotation in western Ashley County that's going to continue to track off to the northeast and affect the northern part of Chico County, Lake Village, Dermott, those areas. You need to be heading to your safe place. We're now looking at the Jackson radar, and you can clearly see there are a couple areas of rotation along the line. Now, with damaging winds, a good possibility, but of course, the tornado threat now exists there as well. And then as you look back into northern Louisiana, definitely some strong rotation towards Farmerville in northern Louisiana. A couple tornado warnings there bordering Arkansas, so a couple areas to watch in Chico County as we go through the next couple of hours. And John, this tornado warning, it goes out quite a ways in distance. When does this expire?
That one goes until 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock a.m. So we've got another hour. Is that right? We have another hour on this tornado warning. It's moving at 60 miles per hour, so if it continues to move at that speed, we will be done with this warning before then. But you should go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Really, if you're in far southeastern Drew County, northern Chico County, northern Ashley County, there's couple areas of rotation that we're watching north of across it. And of course, the Hamburg area, that's where the area of rotation is just about to reach. The area of Hamburg, it's moving off to the northeast. There you see the red outline, the tornado warning box, and there's our last scan that we're getting from the radar. And you can still see pretty good area of rotation there in Ashley County as we continue to move off to the northeast with this. Moving very quickly, faster than any of the other storms we've seen tonight. And there's a cluster of tornado warnings here in southeast Arkansas, northern Louisiana that could affect Chico County, the majority of Chico County, over the next 1 to 2 hours. Right now, it's the northern part of the county that is under that tornado warning. And as you look at this, John, we do actually see a couple areas of maybe stronger rotation there, moving into parts of Drew County even. Wouldn't be surprised to see the National Weather Service in Little Rock maybe add a tornado warning for Drew County here in the next couple of minutes. That's from the Jackson radar, and I'd say even from Jackson, that's pretty strong rotation approaching Highway 425.
That's absolutely right. They haven't indicated anything yet, but one thing, when we took radar training, one of the things that they always pointed out was the farther you get from the radar, the more leeway you give some of these storms as far as warning for them. And when you begin to see those velocities that strong, that far out, that is really calling your attention to that storm.
That's right. So Ashley County, Chico County under tornado warning. Southern Drew County is not. But if you are south of the Monticello area, what I want you to do, maybe even towards McGee, southern Deshay County, go ahead and go to your tornado safe place, because we're watching strong rotation not only in northern Ashley County near Hamburg, but also along Highway 425 there in southern Drew County. Both of these areas moving off to the east-northeast, and it would not surprise me one bit in the next few minutes to see parts of Drew County added to a tornado warning, maybe there even into parts of Deshay County. The Little Rock radar having a little bit of trouble tonight seeing velocity, so we're working off the Jackson radar. But even from Little Rock, we're able to see some rotation there just west of Highway 425, south of Monticello. And what I'm going to do is try to put a track on this, put this in motion so we can better determine where exactly these areas are heading. And you can see they kind of quickly develop over the last several hours, really moving off to the east-northeast at times. There's one there in Ashley County. There's another one there in parts of Drew County. Still no tornado warning from the National Weather Service in Little Rock, which covers Drew County. But maybe it's a good idea, especially since parts of Drew County so close to this tornado warning here in Ashley and Chico County. If you're in the southern part of Drew County, I want you to go to your tornado safe place as well. That includes those of you along Highway 65 in McGee as well. Go ahead and go to your tornado safe place. You're not going to have to be there long, and hopefully this amounts to be nothing. But John, we're so far removed from the weather radar in Jackson. There's two circulations along this leading edge that have really caught our attention in the last couple of hours, and I really don't think it's anything to mess around with, especially at this time of night.
That's right. It's always worrisome when we see these storms, these big storms in the middle of the night like this. I've talked to so many people over the years that said, gosh, I saw the 6 o'clock news or the 10 o'clock news, and they said it was going to be bad, and I was going to stay up and watch that, and doggone, I fell asleep before it got to me. And that could very well be the case down there, since we're, approaching after 3 a.m. now, all the way down there in southeast Arkansas. You've got to figure that almost all those people are asleep.
That's right. So what I want to do now is I want to take storm scan. We're going to take a look from the ULM radar. This is from Louisiana, Monroe. It's sometimes looking directly to the north. It has trouble doing that as well, but we do have a little bit of something here in the northern part of Ashley County. The tilt is a little bit higher here, but we're able to kind of see a little bit of rotation there, maybe a couple areas of rotation from Hamburg to Fountain Hill. Again, that's along Highway 425 and, of course, there into southern Drew County as well. So like I've been saying, Ashley County, Chico County, the northern parts of those counties, southern Drew County, and the far south part of Deshay County. I want you to go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Weak tornado or not, strong winds are incoming as well. We'll take a look at the Jackson radar here as well. It's kind of got a better handle on this rotation, and there it is. Two areas that we're watching. It's really southern Drew County that is not under a tornado warning, but very well could be here in the next few minutes. And then northern Ashley County, and that tornado warning goes all the way into the northern part of Chico County. So really this area on your screen, this is what to watch for There's the area of rotation really on the border of the Drew-Ashley County line, and then another one just near Hamburg that we're wanting to keep a very close eye on. These are moving fairly quickly towards the northeast, and as you take a look further to the south, there are more tornado warnings bordering the Arkansas-Louisiana border that we're going to watch towards areas of like Eudora and southern Chico County. Right now, Eudora, you were not under a tornado warning. Right now, you were okay, but you want to keep a close eye on this over the next hour as these storms move off to the northeast. So in the last few minutes, we've seen rotation get a little bit stronger. And remember, we are so far away from the radar. This radar that we're looking at it from is in Jackson, Mississippi. And all that means is that this area of rotation is very high up in the atmosphere. So we can't really see closer to the ground like you could in the Little Rock area or the Memphis area, the Fort Smith area. However, when you see rotation this strong, far from the radar, it could mean that there is definitely rotation and there's definitely cause for concern. That's why there's a tornado warning in effect for northern Chico and northern Ashley County. The circulation now moving to the east of Highway 425, both areas of circulation. And if you're just now joining me, if you're just now getting the alert on your phone, if you're in southern Drew County, northern Ashley County, northern Chico County, even into the McGee area, it is not a bad idea to take your tornado precautions right now as these storms, weak tornado or not, definitely packing some high winds up to 60 or 70 miles per hour. In some spots, we do have reports of tree damage in some areas of southern Arkansas and especially northern Louisiana, which is where these storms moved from. Now, John, do we have anything, any power outages in that area of the state?
That's just what I wanted to talk about. Here over the last hour, the power outages have really mounted up down in southeast Arkansas. In Union County, Ashley, into Drew County. Statewide now, we're up over 37,000. But the main point here is that with those outages from the El Dorado area up toward Monticello, well, that's with the storms that are pushing east at this time. So that tells you even more that you really need to take your precautions there in Ashley and Chico counties with those storms moving in that have already produced so many power outages.
That's a good point. Over the last several hours, as these storms have moved into that areas of the state, we have seen several power outages. And yes, this is from the Jackson radar. Yes, this can be harder to discern. But that's Highway 82 in Ashley County. And the rotation is just to the north of that. And there maybe also is an area of rotation there, at least high winds in southern Drew County as well. So high winds or a brief tornado, it'd be a good idea to get into your safe place in southern Drew, northern Ashley, northern Chico, southern Deshay counties. This is the area that we are keeping a close eye on. And we just showed you there are reports of power outages, so definitely something is occurring, whether it's lightning or high winds. We're not going to be sure, but definitely cause for concern as we look towards the next couple of minutes. Here in the next few minutes, we will be getting an update on the tornado warnings, and as you look from the Little Rock radar, looks a little bit more like a jumbled mess due to the wind energy that we're looking at tonight, and Little Rock also very far removed from this area of the state. The Jackson radar kind of paints a little bit better picture. You can see the bright reds and greens there in northern Ashley County. Just north of Highway 82. That's Highway 82 right there. That runs from Ashley County into Chico County towards the Lake Village area. And there's your two areas right there that we're keeping a close eye on. Really, southern Drew and northern Ashley County. Continuing to race off to the northeast. And John, do we have a warning update yet on this tornado warning from Jackson?
No, we don't. And I have sent a message to the Little Rock office to ask them about that circulation you've been showing there close to Highway 425 in southern Drew County. I think that's certainly concerning looking at it from the Jackson radar there.
Yeah, and you know, you have to use, in this area of the state, you kind of have to use all your resources to figure out what's actually occurring at the ground. But if you're in southern Drew County, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for high winds, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possible. So whether it's that or a brief tornado, this could be occurring in this area down into Ashley County. So if you're east of Highway 425 towards 165 where Highway 65 splits going to Highway 82, that's just this area, you need to go to your safe place as this area moves off to the east. Moving rather quickly, 40, 50, 60 miles per hour. and it's going to continue to do so over the next 20-30 minutes. It's already moved through quite a bit of Ashley County. I'll put this in motion for you, and you'll see just how quickly over the last 45 minutes coming from Union County out of Louisiana and now into southern Drew in northeastern Ashley County. And here in the next 30 minutes, it's going to move into the northern part of Chico County and far southern Deshay County, McGee southward, all the way to Lake Village. If you're in that area, go ahead and take your safe place. That includes Jerome there. You see that on your map, maybe even Portland. You're included in that tornado warning as well. So this area of the state, can't stress it enough. It's the middle of the night. You're not going to be able to see it coming, and radar data is limited in this part of the state. And so what we do know is that there's cause for concern. Rotation on radar is strong. That's why the tornado warning is in effect. So great idea to take your tornado safe spot, being that we've already seen several confirmed reports of damage today. And there are reports of power outages, not quite sure what they're from, but Drew and Ashley County are now reporting at least several hundred in numbers of power outages. John?
One of the things that I was thinking about is that very southeastern corner of Arkansas is the only area that has not been worked over by storms in that whole part of the state this evening. So there's still plenty of energy available for those remaining storms that are coming out of Ashley County into Chico County to still cause some damage.
Yes, you are correct, and we're just now getting another radar update. Still seeing the potential for high winds, Ashley County into Drew County, even into southern Deshay County. And as you take a look that's further out, I'll go back and show you what's going on in the rest of the state. There's multiple tornado warnings there in northeastern Louisiana. We still have a tornado watch in effect for just the southeast part of Arkansas. As you see, our line of storms, which has caused several damaging wind reports, spawned tornadoes in western Arkansas earlier this evening, now quickly approaching the Mississippi River. It's almost completely through Arkansas County, and it is out of the Channel 7 viewing area north of there, now finishing up as it moves through Monroe County, and that's going to continue to move off to the east. So it's approaching the Memphis metro area, and as you look towards southeast Arkansas, Deshay County about to get high winds. There's not a tornado warning in effect for Deshay County, but high winds are about to be the main risk. And as you look towards this area of the state, definitely some strong winds moving into the Dumas area right now and other areas, McGee along Highway 65 there in southeast Arkansas. And yes, this is going to move towards the Mississippi River in the next 20 to 30 minutes, but for the time being, even though there's not a tornado warning in effect, strong winds can do just as much damage as a weak tornado. So Deshay County, southern Drew County, northern Ashley County, northern Chico County, those are the areas of the state that have the highest severe weather risk right now, and those are the areas of the state that need to take their tornado precautions immediately. And I believe that is a continuation of the tornado warning in southeast Arkansas. Looks like it's still moving fairly quickly off to the northeast. There's the area of rotation. Looks like it's just near Highway 82. And John, unless Jackson sees something else, they're going to let this continue to go into Chico County.
Yes, they still have just updated that warning. It says the latest position is 10 miles northeast of Hamburg or near the community of Snyder, still moving to the northeast at 65 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I think we've got a pretty good view of the area of rotation there in Ashley County, and it is right along Highway 82. There's the area of rotation, and it's going to continue to just follow the highway all the way into Lake Village, so or just north of Lake Village, rather, and that's a good Highway 65 runs right here, Highway 82 runs right here, and there's 165 to the west of 65. If you're in this area and even into parts of southeastern Drew County, it is 3:16 in the morning. You're not going to be able to see it. High winds are incoming anyways, and probably a good idea to seek shelter immediately. Go to the most interior room of your house. Basements are great, but not everybody has those. Going to the most interior room could save your life, because in all, it's more than likely that if we have a tornado in this region, it's going to be a weak tornado, and those can knock down trees, and that's a big deal if it falls on your house. So going to the most interior room is the best course of action to take. Of course, if you have a basement, that's even better, and there's the rotation there. Now moving into the eastern part of Ashley County, and John, there's still quite a bit of rotation there in southeastern Drew County. I know that's from the Jackson radar, but it's something we do have to look at.
Yeah, that is very concerning there in that area southeast of Monticello, and that's going to be headed up not far from McGee the way that's tracking.
Yeah, even into parts of Deshay County now, in the radar, the beam shoots way up, but there's still quite a bit of a signature for high winds moving into Deshay County, now past the Dumas area, but now moving into the McGee area. So if you're in those areas and you're just tuning in, you're getting an alert on your phone, you're waking up to thunder, lightning, heavy rain, it's a good idea, even though it's just a severe thunderstorm warning for Drew and Deshay counties, to go to your tornado safe place. The damaging winds, weak tornadoes, they do the same amount of damage, and whether you get one or the other, you're really not going to know it when it happens. The tornado warning is in effect for northern Chico and northern Ashley County. There's the next update. Still seeing some fairly strong rotation there, northeastern Ashley County, and looking at high winds for Deshay County back into Drew County, especially the southeast part of the county. See, John, we just got our update there, and still, I'd say the best rotation signature that we're seeing is definitely this storm in Ashley County. We'll take you in closer to it. It is just north of Highway 82. There's the Drew County line. So Jerome in southern Drew County, maybe a good idea to take your tornado precautions right now. Here's Lake Village along Highway 82, and here's Highway 65 that runs right through there, and then there's 165 north of Montrose, and there's the rotation. The National Weather Service in Jackson continues to say that the possibility of a tornado is there. That's why the tornado warning is being continued. It is until 4 a.m. for Lake Village areas to the north and the northern part of Chico County. It's a good idea that if you know somebody in this area, northeastern Ashley County, northern Chico County, Dermott, Lake Village, the southeast part of Drew County, call them, wake them up, tell them there's a tornado warning in your area, and we're tracking an area of strong rotation, which is right here, moving off to the northeast. You may be wondering why we're not showing reflectivity, showing where the rain may be falling. Well, there's plenty of heavy rain, but the circulation is actually embedded in the heavy rain. So this doesn't do much for you. We actually have to look inside the storm to show you where the strongest winds are. And as you look at it right there, it's much easier to take a look at where the rotation may be. And hopefully, as has been the case many times tonight, over the next 20 minutes or so, or hopefully sooner than that, we'll see this begin to quickly weaken. There's the area of rotation that we're continuing to look at. It is near the Drew-Ashley County line, and it will soon move back into parts of Chico County. It's now in parts of that's going to be southeastern Drew County. I think more than anything, whether it's a tornado threat or not, the high wind threat is there. That's been the main threat all day, and that's going to continue to be the main threat as you go through the next couple of hours. Again, I think the severe threat completely ends by 6 a.m. for southeast Arkansas, but until we get there, Chico, Deshay, Drew County, even parts of Ashley County, going to have to be watching the radar closely. Of course, there is that tornado warning in effect, unless they cancel it for another 40 minutes for northern Chico County, and I can't imagine that once the storm passes through this area, they will let the warning go. John?
When that warning first came out, remember it mentioned that it was near North Crossett, and then it moved up toward Hamburg. And looking at the energy power map, the outages go from North Crossett right up to Hamburg. Okay,
so there is a possibility there that we do have, that maybe something happened, whether it was winds or not. Well, it's just too early to say, but the damage likely going to be the same. Let's go to our storm scan. This is, again, from the Jackson radar, but right in this area in southeast Drew County, we're getting a signature that's indicative of some very high winds. This has been showing up now for the last several scans. So northern Chico County, southeast Drew County, and areas towards McGee in southern Deshay County. Take your precautions immediately. It's a lot of heavy rain in this area, strong winds likely, whether it's a tornado or not. This can definitely do some damage, and the tornado warning now goes from Hamburg all the way up to the Lake Village area, the Mississippi River, but I still think areas in southeastern Drew County and especially southeastern Deshay County should be taking your tornado precautions. Dumas, you're almost done with it. This line of storms is continuing to race off to the east. You're still dealing with some heavy rain, but the severe threat is now moving off to your east, the eastern half of Deshay County. If we look up towards other parts of the state, DeWitt, you're almost done with the severe threat as well. Stuttgart is done. Star City is done. Monticello is done. And those of you in Bradley County are now done as well. So this severe threat pretty much confined now to the southeastern part of Drew County, Deshay County, far southeastern Arkansas County, and of course Chico and Ashley counties. And of course what we're watching for is any signs of rotation. And John, I think the best sign of rotation that we've seen all night outside of western Arkansas might be coming right there on the Ashley-Drew County line, and the radar beam measuring this at 10,000 feet. So this is way up there, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could be seeing a weak tornado.
Yeah, and that, of course, that is flat terrain down there, and in a situation like that, we wish the beam weren't at 10,000 feet, but it probably gives us a little more hint than it might if we were in a more mountainous part of the state, that we might very well be looking at something. I'm really concerned that there's going to be some damage down there found later on tonight or in the morning. We're so late into the night here, we just can't expect that we're going to get a whole lot of reports in from the public, and that's kind of a detriment sometime to the warning forecasters as well, because they see things on radar and they think, well, I'm going to warn for this, and they don't get any reports, and then maybe they back off and think, well, gee, I wonder if anything really happened, and yet something may have happened, and yet nothing was reported because it was in the middle of the night.
So I'm pulling up the ULM radar on StormScan. This can give us a better look at maybe what's happening below 10,000 feet in Chico County. The radar beam actually goes through just a little bit below that. There are little areas of rotation evident in southern parts of Drew County and in parts of northern Ashley County. You'll have to ignore those two tornado markers. That's just showing where the rotation may be. And over the last 30 minutes, this line segment right here continues to organize and move off to the northeast. That's why the Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi, which covers Ashley and Chico counties, is continuing the tornado warning for northern Chico County. So if you're in the northern part of Chico County, this does not include Eudora. This includes Lake Village, all the way up to Dermott and just south of McGee. Even if you're in McGee, I would take my tornado precautions as well. Several areas of at least high winds, at the very least, along this line. Winds up to 60 miles per hour possible. We have reports of power outages from both Drew and Ashley County where these storms have tracked. So there's no way to verify right now if these storms are causing that damage, but right now there's enough of a threat that there's a tornado warning in effect and that you should probably take your tornado precautions. This is our rotation parameter. And you see all along this line, southeastern Drew County into northern Chico County, there's the possibility that tornado definitely occurring. John, unless that's an update on a current tornado warning, we may have a new tornado warning.
Now, that is the update on the storm that's been moving from actually toward Chico County, located near Montrose, moving northeast now at 70 miles an hour. So
this thing is racing off to the northeast, and windstorms do that. It may be, there is a high wind threat for sure. When storms are moving that fast with this amount of wind energy. And from the Jackson radar, the city of Dermott now about to be having that high wind threat and even that brief tornado threat. So northern Chico County has the tornado warning continuing. So does southeastern Drew and southern Deshay County under severe thunderstorm warnings. High winds are likely in this area along Highway 65 all the way into Chico County and just north of Highway 82, where Highway 82 tracks through those two counties as well. Again, we're far away from the radar site, but it doesn't get much better than that, moving right towards the Dermott area. And I would say with as far away as we are from the radar and with as late in the night as it is, it's a great idea to take your tornado precautions, especially if you're anywhere in the northern part of Chico County, even in the southern part of Deshay County, McGee, Arkansas City, in the southeast part of Drew County as well. Hopefully this storm is now moving quick enough, 70 miles per hour, that in the next few minutes, next 20, 30 minutes, we're going to see this thing race off to the northeast, cross the Mississippi River, and we will be just about done with it. Now, if you're in Eudora or southern Chico County, we're continuing to watch the storms off to the southeast for you, and right now there is no threat to you as far as tornadoes go. High wind threat is coming for sure with the line of storms to your west, but the tornado warning.
We do have a report now.
Okay.
I was looking earlier at the energy outage map and saying that There were a lot of outages there in North Crossett, I think well over 1,000. And now we have a report from the emergency manager that trees and power lines are indeed down in North Crossett.
Okay, so Crossett is back here in western Ashley County. And if you'll remember, just 20 minutes ago, there's where the original circulation was. And that circulation moved up north through Hamburg, across Highway 82, and is now quickly approaching Dermott. So we have confirmed reports of damage. That's from western Ashley County. There's no way to tell if this is still doing damage, if it was from a tornado or if it was from just straight line winds. But the truth is that whether it's a weak tornado or straight line winds, it's going to do the same amount of damage. As you take a look at that, let's look at this area of rotation in the northwestern part of Chico County. It's quickly approaching the Dermott area. It'll be just south of the McGee area. And John, looking at the power outages map, we do see that there's a good chance that this did do some type of damage within the last hour as it moved through parts of Ashley County and now quickly moving into southeastern Drew County and really just the southern part of Deshay County. There it is right there, and I think 10,000 feet, it doesn't get much more clearer than that. That's northern Chico County, and from northern Chico County, quickly approaching Highway 65, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. Cannot stress this enough. We have reports of damage from Ashley County, and as you take a look, that's up Highway 65 right there towards the Dermott area. This right here, Highway 65. If you're anywhere in the Dermott-McGee area, there it is. You need to take your safe place right now, and that's going to go all the way up to Arkansas City and towards the Mississippi River and on the other side. So, John, do we have any other reports coming out of Ashley County where this tracked?
Nope. Unfortunately, this late at night, as we said earlier, we're going to be very restricted. And one of our other problems is that there's only a few places down there in Ashley, Chico County that are served by energy. The rest are served by an electric cooperative, and they do not report their outages online. So we're kind of blind for probably 75% of the area down there.
Okay, so that earlier report coming out of Crossett, what was that one more time? We'll look at it on the radar. You said it was trees and power lines down there in the area of Crossett, correct?
Yes, North Crossett.
And that circulation moved through the northern part of Chico County, and that circulation that appears to have caused damage in the Crossett area, now quickly approaching far northern Chico County and is near the Dermott area and Highway 65. We're just too far from the radar to look and see if we have a debris signature. In any case, it's good news that debris is not being lofted that high, so hopefully the amount of damage is going to be light, and in just the form of maybe some power lines down, something like that. Hopefully no significant structural damage, but there's the report you were talking about, trees and power lines down, and that was about 30 minutes ago as the storm was moving through Crossett. Now the circulation in question is in far northern Chico County and is about to move into far southern Deshay County, McGee, Arkansas City, Halley. Those areas need to take your tornado safe place immediately. And it looks like the National Weather Service Little Rock has trimmed severe thunderstorm warning for McGee and the areas in Deshay County. But again, whether it's a high wind or damage or weak tornado threat, Dermott, McGee, Arkansas City, in this little area right here, take your tornado precautions immediately. Lake Village, I think the tornado threat is to your north. However, you're about to be hit with some heavy rain and high winds. You may want to stay where you're at as this moves your direction. It looks like the tornado threat, the immediate tornado threat or high wind threat moving through Dermott and Highway 65 right now. And McGee just to your south and Arkansas City next in line as this moves off to the northeast. Again, we've been tracking this tornado warning for the better part of the last 30 minutes. And we got a report of damage in Crossett as this line moved through about 30 minutes ago. And we've been watching it move off to the northeast. So there's your tornado warning. It's quickly approaching Highway 65. There's your latest update, and we still have a little bit of rotation on radar there. Really at the north, as far north in Chico County as you can go. It's the Chico County, Deshay County line. And that's where the tornado warning is currently in effect. Southern Chico County, no tornado warning for you right now, though we are watching the storm to your southeast. If you're in the only two locations in the Channel 7 viewing area with severe weather warnings right now are going to be eastern Deshay County and northern Chico County. So good news here is that Drew County, almost done with the severe weather threat. You're still dealing with some heavy rain, but Monticello, you're just about done. Severe weather threat in Dermot will be ending soon as this area moves off to the northeast, and now it's in southeastern Deshay County. It's these areas right here that I'm circling with my cursor. Northern Chico County, southern Deshay County towards Arkansas City, State Highway 4 along that area. That's where you should be taking your tornado precautions, and anywhere south of McGee or in McGee, you should be taking your precautions right now. That's right along Highway 65, and this tornado warning looks like it has been extended, John, out into Mississippi.
That's right. It says it's 9 miles east of Dermot or near McMillan Corner, moving northeast now at 80 miles an hour. And so it includes Bolivar, Sunflower, and Washington counties in Mississippi.
So this is going to be moving out of Arkansas soon. Let's go ahead and take Max 2, and I'm going to take Max 2 to the green wall, and I'm going to circle some things here for you so this doesn't look quite so confusing. The area of rotation that we're watching, just south of McGee, Highway 65 right there, and there's the tornado warning that extends into Mississippi. So this is going to be moving out of Arkansas very soon, but if you're in southern Deshay County, south of McGee, Arkansas City, this area of the county, or in northern Chico County, north of Lake Village, we have reports of damage with this right here, and it would be a very good idea for the next few minutes to go to your tornado safe place because we do have reports of damage with this. And the tornado warning has been extended into Mississippi, which means the National Weather Service of Jackson has a high degree of confidence that this is capable of producing a tornado. Again, there's Highway 65 right there between McGee, Lake Village. You need to be taking tornado precautions right now, and I will circle this for you right here. There's the area of concern, and I would say anywhere south of that line or north of this line right here should be in tornado safe place. And this is moving at 80 miles per hour, which means here in the next few minutes, it's going to be across the Mississippi River, and the warnings will be dropped or let expire, which is definitely good news that it will be moving across the Mississippi River. But National Weather Service in Jackson showing a high degree of confidence that something is occurring, and we do have reports of damage from Ashley County. Again, power lines, trees down back in Ashley County with this very circulation that has moved off to the northeast over the last 30 minutes. And it's been a pretty long-lived circulation. It has stayed together for the last 30 minutes, moving through Ashley County, parts of southeastern Drew County, and parts of northern Chico County. And whether it's a weak tornado or strong damaging straight-line winds, the results are pretty much the same. So, John, is that an update to a tornado warning, or do we have something new coming out?
That's continuation of that same tornado warning that was already issued over into Mississippi. The update says near McMillan Corner, which is not far from Lake Village, and moving rapidly off to the northeast. So I think by the next 10 minutes or so, that's going to be on across. Now, we do have that new severe thunderstorm warning farther south down there into Ashley and Chico counties that also extends down into northern Louisiana.
That's a very good point that you make. Lots of heavy rain, high winds now moving into the southern part of Chico County. So Eudora now under a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. However, severe thunderstorm warnings could be treated like tornado warnings tonight with the amount of wind damage that we are seeing across the state. And as you take, I'm going to take you back into southern Deshay County and northern Chico County. Tornado warning continues for northern areas of Chico County and back into Mississippi. So if you're in southern Deshay County, northern Chico County, both those areas, good idea to take your tornado safe spot and stay there. And it's moving at 80 miles per hour. So it's moving very, very quickly. It's not something you would see. And this is going to be across the Mississippi River probably within the next 10 minutes. It's going to be moving across, and our severe weather threat will be ending here within, at least for those areas, within the next 30 minutes, and it will be a southern Chico County, southern Ashley County show from there on. But still watching areas of rotation there in southeast Arkansas. A little bit still kind of difficult to see from the Little Rock radar, but A couple areas you want to watch here. Southern Chico County, there's an area near Lake Village and then another area in southern Deshay County. And whether if you're in the tornado warning box, which is the Lake Village area northward to Dermot, now towards the east, taking your tornado precautions is definitely what you need to do right now. And I would even include Arkansas City and McGee in that. That tornado warning continues off into Mississippi. It'll be moving across the Mississippi River really momentarily. And that's good news that our severe threat will be ending soon. But we have seen quite a few reports of damage tonight, wind damage, most of it, but a couple tornadoes likely have occurred. And there's no way to tell right now if this was wind damage or a tornado that went through Crossit, but we do have reports of damage, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for eastern Deshay County. So if you're in the eastern part of Deshay County, east of McGee, east of Highway 65, you need to be in a safe spot right now all the way down to Lake Village, and you need to be there for just about 10 more minutes before this moves across the Mississippi River. And once it does move across the Mississippi River, we will sound the all clear. We will let you know. If you're in Ashley County right now, we are done with the severe threat, except for the far southeast part of the county. So if you're in Ashley County and you're getting us, the severe threat has moved off to your northeast. If you're in Dumas, if you're in Monticello, anywhere in Drew County, the severe threat is quickly ending for you. Just going to be heavy rain, lightning, and the possibility of flash flooding as rain continues across that part of the state. Let's go back to our storm scan. And what I want to show you is how far into Mississippi this tornado warning extends. It goes well into Mississippi, and what that tells you is that Jackson, the National Weather Service in Jackson, feels that high degree of confidence in the tornado warning that has been issued at one point through Ashley County, Chico County. It's now moving through southern Deshay County and will move back into the Mississippi River. So it's going to be across the Mississippi River here shortly. John, it's getting very, very close to Arkansas City there in southern Deshay County. Do we have any outage reports from Deshay County?
Very few to see down that way. Let me see what the latest is. Looks like there's a few there around McGee, especially to the north of McGee, and a couple around Arkansas City now as well.
Okay, so we do have...
let's see if those continue to increase as that storm moves on through.
So at the very least, there's a damaging wind threat for at least another 5 to 10 minutes in far southeast Arkansas. If you are in Deshay County, you're not under a tornado warning, but you are very close to an area that is under a tornado warning with a storm that has a history of producing damage through Ashley County and has apparently knocked out at least some power in parts of Deshay County. So for at least the next few minutes, if you're in the McGee area eastward in Deshay County, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. As I take you back to Max 2, I'll circle this area for you, still very clear that if you're in that area, McGee down to Lake Village, you need to be in your tornado safe place. And this still moving very, very quickly off to the northeast.
James?
Yes, sir.
You pointed out earlier that that storm is going to go very near Dermot, and now there's a huge power outage of at least half of Dermot on up to the north and west from Dermot as well.
Okay, so reports of power outages in Dermot, no way to tell if that's from straight line winds or a tornado, but what we do know is that this storm is producing damage. It has produced damage in Ashley, Chico, and looks like soon to be Deshay counties. You see the circulation there, John? That's still from the Jackson radar, but one thing that you know for sure is that there's quite a bit of wind in the southern part of Deshay County, and with the history of damage, I would say if you're in McGee, the Arkansas City area, you got to be in a safe place just for the next 10 minutes, and you got to go now. It's moving at 80 miles per hour. It's now east of McGee. There's Highway 65. If you're along the Mississippi River, you got to be there now. Again, it's moving into Mississippi in the next 10 minutes. And John, you were telling me now we have reports of damage from Crossit and Dermot, and that's right along the track of that storm, and it moved right south of McGee along Highway 65.
And now virtually all of Lake Village is without power as well.
Okay, so likely some high winds that moved through there, and this was with the area. You look at the reflectivity It's a large area of rain that has been moving, rain and high winds that's been moving from southwest to northeast through Ashley, Drew, and now into Chico and Shea counties. And that area of heavy rain stretches from Lake Village all the way up into McGee, kind of right along the area where we're seeing damaging winds. So it's very possible that maybe we did get a weak tornado in here, but it's also possible that it was just damaging straight line winds. And now as you take a look at the latest scan, we're getting very close to the Mississippi River. So it's going right through Lake Village right now. There's the Mississippi River Bridge that goes into Greenville. And that's where this storm is right now with a very high wind threat. I think the tornado threat going to be on the northern end of this right now near Arkansas City, there in the eastern, southeastern part of Shea County. And as you zoom in, there it is, and it is getting close, very close to the Mississippi River. There's State Highway 4. It's now just to the southeast of that. There's Arkansas City. I don't guess we have numbers on power outages in that part of the county, but we do know that there were power outages further to the west with this area of wind, whether it's a tornado or straight line winds. We'll find out at a later time, but we do know that it has been causing damage over the last 30, 40, 45 minutes, and it's getting very close to the Mississippi River and moving into Mississippi. But at least for the next few moments, Arkansas City, areas in eastern Shea County, you've got to be in a safe place. And just for a little while longer until we get this severe weather threat out of here. And I would say for parts of Chico County, the southern part of Chico County at the very least, Eudora, areas up towards Lake Village, we're still watching storms moving into your area that could produce heavy rain, high winds, maybe even a brief tornado, though the tornado warning is about to expire for Chico County. As you look towards the north, I'd say the heavy rain, high wind threat is just about to clear the McGee area. So if you're in McGee, west of McGee, Highway 65, you're all clear. And you're clear in Ashley County now as well, except for the far southeast part. The highest severe weather threat in the state is just for a little sliver of southeastern Shea County near Arkansas City and then down towards the Lake Village area. There's been a history of wind damage with this line segment. Could have been a weak tornado, could have been straight line winds. The strength pretty much the same. So the damage going to be the same as well. And it deserves your attention as it quickly moves towards the Greenville area. And here in the next few moments, we'll cross into the state of Mississippi. And hopefully that'll be it for tornado warnings tonight. John, do you see anything else on your end?
Well, we do have a report now from that little committee of Snyder. We mentioned that one earlier as well as that storm went through Ashley County. And now we do have a report of several trees down in that little community. So that's...
And it's popped up on Storm Scan right there.
It's a very good report from that storm spotter there in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so you see it. You see the timeline here. You go from across it, trees and power lines down. A few minutes later, trees down in the Snyder community, the highway blocked. We verified power outages in Dermot right there. And now it's beginning to move across the Mississippi River after it has produced a history of damage. We're going to go back to Max 2 because we're almost done with this. This tornado-warned storm is now beginning to move across the Mississippi River. So for those of you waking up with us, it's 3:45 in the morning. We've been covering this for about 45 minutes. They let the tornado warning go till 4 a.m. And it's a good thing they did because there have been several reports of damage from Crossett to Snyder and Ashley County to the Dermot area and possibly even into the southeastern Drew County area. We do know there's power outages and reports of trees down, and that's with this line segment that's getting ready to move across the Mississippi River. And John, it does appear that they have dropped the tornado warning for Chico County as this has now moved almost entirely into Mississippi.
Yes, right on across the Mississippi River, kind of jagged there where the river is on the border. But I'm kind of worried for those folks over in Mississippi because with those reports that we had in Arkansas, I certainly think they're going to end up with some damage in Mississippi as well.
Yeah, so the severe weather threat's still not completely over. What we're watching is those of you right along the Mississippi River in Shea County, including Arkansas City right now for the next few moments. And then off to the southeast. Those of you in Eudora have yet to really experience a heavy thunderstorm, and that's about to change. This storm is just severe thunderstorm warning, but you could still see the same amount of damage as a weak tornado because straight line winds and weak tornadoes are essentially the same. And this storm, which has a severe thunderstorm warning, is about to move through the remaining half of Chico County that was not under that tornado warning. Again, the tornado warning has been canceled for Chico County because the area of rotation now moving into Mississippi. That area of rotation very close to the Arkansas City area there in southeastern Deshay County. And we'll take a look one more time at that area. And John, I know it's from the Jackson radar, and I know this is at 10,000 feet. That's Arkansas City, and that's the strong rotation. So whether that's elevated and it's in the form of damaging winds or a weak tornado, if you're in Arkansas City just for the next few moments, remember it's moving at 80 miles per hour. It's going to be in Cleveland, Mississippi, in the Delta there here shortly. Just for the next few moments, stay in your safe place there in southeastern Deshay County. Yes, John?
And now power is out all the way from McGee to Arkansas City.
Okay, so we do have more reports of power outages from McGee all the way into Arkansas City, so it's very possible that it was either straight line winds or a weak tornado. May not have even been a weak tornado with as far away from the radar as well. Could have been a tornado, could have been damaging straight line winds. So if you're hearing this in Arkansas City right now, you need to be in your safe place. Likely you're seeing something happening right now. Hopefully it's just straight line winds or a weakening tornado, but this is beginning to move across the Mississippi River, and I would say at least after the next 1 to 2 radar scans, that is going to occur. But I would say for at least the next few minutes, right along the Mississippi River in Deshay County, stay in your safe spot. The tornado warning for northern Chico County, Lake Village to Dermot, has been canceled because the system is now moving into Mississippi. But again, along this line, there's been several areas along this line segment that have been producing damage. It's almost now entirely into Mississippi, so we're almost done with the severe threat in Deshay County. What I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay local storm reports, and we're going to be able to see the areas that have been producing damage. And it looks like, John, they just got a report of damage on the other side of the river as this system is moving off to the northeast. So watch what happens. Tornado warning came out for Ashley and Chico County, and there's a report of wind damage, trees and power lines down. There's a report in the Snyder community, trees and power lines down, and it moved through far southeast portion of Drew County into portions of Deshay County, and it's now moving across the Mississippi River, and now we're just left with heavy thunderstorms and high winds in the southern part of Chico County. Now, you were telling me that McGee to Arkansas City reporting power outages, and that fits well with the track of the storm. I don't know if it was a damaging wind event or a weak tornado, but in this case, it doesn't matter. It causes the same amount of damage, and it looks like we are finally beginning to see the threat for Deshay County wind down. If you're in Arkansas City, I'm just about to give you the all clear. The system is now pushing across the Mississippi River, and with reports of power out, I hope we do not have too much damage to deal with there. And as I take you towards the north, the eastern part of Deshay County still under a severe thunderstorm warning, the northeastern part east of Watson, and that area is going to be moving across the Mississippi River soon as well. So it's kind of interesting, John. Deshay County never was under a tornado warning, but we do have reports of damage. So very well could have been straight line wind damage from the severe thunderstorm warning, or it could have been a weak tornado.
You know, earlier in the evening, you were stressing that people should charge their phones, their tablets and so forth, so that they could keep up with coverage if their power went out. So now that we look at the outage map, Dermot, no power. Lake Village, no power. Hamburg, no power. Arkansas City, no power.
Yeah.
Most of McGee, no power. There is your lesson right there, that you have to be prepared for these power outages when these storms come along. And you know, earlier on the news tonight, it was mentioned that Energy had a full crew coming in tomorrow in their preparation for what was going to happen tonight. And it sure looks like those folks are going to be put to good use tomorrow.
It sure does. As you take a look back at Max 2, the areas of rotation along that line segment, the line segment that has produced damage all the way back from Ashley County through Snyder, through parts of McGee, Arkansas City, now moving into Mississippi almost completely. There's one area of rotation. There's another, and whether it's rotation or strong winds, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same amount of damage in this area, Greenville to the north. And now it's almost completely across the Mississippi River, so we're just about ready to send you back to regular programming unless something changes here in the next couple minutes from the National Weather Service. If you are seeing severe weather in Chico, Ashley, Drew, Deshay County, tweet it to me at KATV James. Facebook it to me, Meteorologist James Bryant. I'd love to see what you're seeing, if it is safe to get out and take a look at what has happened in your area. We do have reports of trees, power lines down, and there are reports of power outages all the way from Ashley County into Chico County into parts of Deshay County, right where this line segment tracked. As you take a look right there on your screen at Max 2 there, the line segment moved off to the northeast from the Crossit area, and it's really been over the last hour. It's been over the last hour. This started there in southeast, in western Ashley County, and moved off to the northeast, and now it is moving across the Mississippi River. And Eudora, you're the one part of the county that has not really had to deal with much severe weather yet in the state, and you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're watching us from Eudora, good morning. It's 3:52 a.m. on your Saturday, and high winds are likely in this line of storms that is headed your way. The good news is there's no immediate tornado threat to you. This is all a high wind threat. The tornado threat has now moved across the Mississippi River, and that's into, I believe, Sunflower County, Mississippi. It's affecting the Greenville areas. But one thing I can tell you is we've gotten several reports of damaging winds. I'll overlay those on. There's one from Crossit right there. There's one from the community of Snyder in Ashley County. And then we are getting reports of power outages from the Dermott area east of McGee into Arkansas City. And that's right there. And that was right as that line segment moved across the Mississippi River. This just about does it for our severe weather today. Most of the state beginning to see at least just rain and the flash flooding potential, no severe weather potential. The last area of the state that's going to have severe weather to deal with is going to be the far southeast corner of the state, with a high wind threat there in Eudora along Highway 65 south of Lake Village. This does not, thankfully, look to be as high into threat as it was just a few moments ago with the line segment that was just to your north. That's good news for Eudora. If you're in northern Chico County, southern Deshay County, southeast Drew County, or in Ashley County, I want to know what you saw just in the last hour, where we had reports of damage in several of those areas. And before I let you go back to regular programming, John, quick recap, power outages across the state. Where are those highest numbers, and then what are we looking at really in southeast Arkansas with the line segment that just went through there?
Well, we have power out of all of Hamburg, all of Lake Village, down toward Eudora, although not in town itself, Arkansas City, Dermott, part of McGee, part of Monticello. So very widespread outages down there. And you know, one of the things you've emphasized tonight a number of times is that these storms, even if it's a severe thunderstorm, and people say, oh, it's only a severe thunderstorm, and you mentioned quite a number of times that some of these could be almost the strength of a small tornado. Outside the viewing area, but now we have a report of when the storm went through on Interstate 40 east of Brinkley, 10 tractor trailers blown over on Interstate 40 in the Wheatley area.
Okay, so that's going to be out towards the Forest City area in eastern Arkansas. So we have been emphasizing all week, straight line winds were going to be an issue. That was just east of the Channel 7 viewing area, but still, we've seen plenty of reports within our viewing area tonight, and now just to the east. And now the tornado warned storm that we were just monitoring that moved through Ashley, parts of Chico, even southeast Drew and southern Deshay counties, now moving across the Mississippi River, and that's definitely good news. I want to recap it for you. We've been dealing with severe weather since about 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock last night, starting in western Arkansas. So it's been a long night, and everyone except for the far southeast corner of Chico County is all clear. If you're in Eudora, we are dealing with the high wind threat, but just a few more minutes here, and we're going to be all done.
Got
John?
one more thing for you here, James. Chico County Energy is now reporting 57% of their customers are without power in Chico County.
Okay, so that's a very large percentage of the county. And as you take a look at the last 2 hours on Max 2, I put this in motion. There's the line segment. Just about 2:50 a.m. emerged from Louisiana and began moving through northern Ashley County, made its way into parts of southeast Drew County and parts of northern Chico County, and southern Deshay County, and we have several damage reports from this area right here as that moved into Mississippi. And it is now completely in Mississippi. The only part of the state with a severe weather threat is now the southern half of Chico County, and that's going to be a high wind risk. Multiple damage reports from this area of the state and several areas, several towns completely without power. And John, one more time, what is the state number on power outages at this point?
Let's see, I looked here just a second ago. We were above 46,000 now.
Okay, so we have really taken a big jump in the last couple hours. We jumped from 26,000 now to 46,000 people without power. So we don't know the extent of the damage in southeast Arkansas, if it goes beyond just trees and power lines down. If you tweet at me, KATV James, send me a Facebook message, Meteorologist James Bryant, or to our news account at KATV News. You can even send your pictures to KATV.com/chime in. Only if it is safe to do so. The severe weather threat is quickly winding down in the southern and southeast part of the state. Again, those of you in Eudora now dealing with the high wind threat. But it looks like the tornado threat has completely ended for the entire state. And we are coming up on 4 a.m. on your Saturday morning. Temperatures are going to be dropping through the day. And while we may have some leftover rain, the severe weather threat is completely over. So I'm going to show you the tornado watch that we're almost through with here. We're almost done with it, and you'll be able to see the remaining severe thunderstorm warnings. These counties, Jefferson, all the way down to Union, all the way up to northeast Arkansas, Clay County, these counties are going to be dropped from the tornado watch, including Bradley, Drew. All these counties are going to be dropped before 7 a.m., and that's good news. And as you go, as you look at the severe thunderstorm warnings right now, it's just that area along the Mississippi River all the way down into southeast Arkansas, and the only part of that that's in the Channel 7 viewing area is Deshay County and Chico County. And for you guys in Deshay County, the threat is ending very quickly, and in Chico County it will be ending here very quickly over the next several hours. So Futurecast a little far behind, but again, we'll be dealing with some leftover showers today. But for those of you that are in southeast Arkansas, we've been dealing with some damage, and again, we want to know what you saw in southeast Arkansas. You can do that by letting us know, KATV.com/chime in with your pictures, Facebook, Twitter, at KATV James. Those are two good ways to get in touch with us as we will continue to monitor things here until our morning show. Saturday Daybreak will start at 8 a.m., and we will have continuing coverage for you then, a recap of the night's severe weather. Hopefully we'll have some images for you. Hope everyone did okay there in southeast Arkansas. Ashley, Chico, Deshay, Drew County with that tornado-warned storm that just moved through there and apparently caused damage and knocked out power to quite a few of you. Yes, John, you have one more thing?
Yeah, one more thing. As that line of storms continues to track through Chico County, now 74% of energy's cut.
We have a county. 74% of the county without power. So hopefully you were able to get us streaming on your device. Hopefully we were able to walk you through what was going on. The tornado threat now completely ended for the state, just a high wind threat for Eudora, and then the entire state going to be done. Again, continuing coverage. Going to be this morning on Saturday Daybreak that starts at 8, goes through 10 a.m. Hopefully we'll have some images for you. And again, we'll later today we'll determine if this was from high winds or a weak or maybe even a strong tornado. We'll just have to wait and see. But a number of power outages there in southeast Arkansas and power outages across the state. Now over 4,600, but this severe weather event that started before 8 o'clock, it's now 4 a.m. and it is winding down. Rest easy. There is flash flood warning still in effect. Don't drive through flooded roads, but hopefully your Saturday going to be a lot quieter than what your Friday night was, and maybe more quiet than your Saturday began for you. So, hey, have a great rest of your night. Have a great Saturday. Again, hope everyone did well last night, especially for those of you in southeast Arkansas that just dealt with some severe weather. I'm going to send you back to regular programming, and we will continue to monitor things here. And again, Saturday Daybreak will start at 8 a.m., and we will have continuing team coverage.